Welcome to Listen.
Teacher Chatter.
This is Robin.
And Jill.
And we're back.
I know, after a couple weeks off.
I know.
And I am super pumped because we have...
And they are really super
pumped.
are
super pumped. Both of my sisters are joining us on the podcast this week.
This is very exciting.
I know. Robin might be a tad bit nervous, though, because we actually have a studio audience, too.
She's the one I'm most nervous about.
Yeah, because my mom is here, too. It's like a family event.
And my back is to her. So I'm afraid at any time she's going to jump in and scare me, and I don't know what to do. So
it's fair.
I should have said over there.
You should have. Maybe we planned this all out perfectly.
My heart's actually ready to beat.
Oh my goodness. This is going to be a part 1 and part 2. So you don't normally do this.
Yeah, this is new.
All right. But we've talked about it
when
we have guests. Well, to get us going, we always start with our highs and lows. But I do want to remind our listeners, we are on YouTube if you want to see the unedited version, or let's say mostly unedited, because I don't know what people are about to say. And then we are also on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, where you can find those videos of the things my mother likes to buy to scare Robin.
Which is rude, but we still love her.
All right. Well, Laine, you're up. I mean, you can just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. My name is Laine Towe, Jill's older sister.
Thank you for that. Because sometimes people aren't sure. She looks very young. Very young.
Yes. I have a husband, Trevor, who I've been married to 19 years.
That's crazy.
I have 3 kids. One's Brighton's 16, Braxton's almost 14, and Brayley just turned 11. I've been teaching for 19 years, and I have a crazy farm at my house, I would say.
That's fair. That's fair. All right, Kelli.
I'm Kelli Cheek. I'm the high school counselor at Skyline. I have been married to my husband, Kevin, for 22 years. He is also an educator. That makes all 3 of us married to educators, by the way.
Yeah.
Our parents are not educators.
Educated.
People always ask that. People always ask that whenever I say I'm married to a teacher, and my sisters are both married, our teachers, both married teachers, and they always say, were your parents teachers? No, they weren't. 3 kids. Court will be 20 soon, and Kinsey is 16, and Kaz is almost 12. Been teaching for 22 years. Is that right? 22? 20? Yes, 22.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I know. I used to wonder how people can remember how old they were and stuff. Yeah, I'm there.
And it's awful.
So, yeah.
It's because we've been there a long time.
Yes, that's right. So, I enjoy taking pictures. That's probably one of my hobbies that I very much enjoy.
And Laine, you were in, I'd say, like early childhood. Well, you've done about everything in education, actually.
Taught lots of grades.
Yeah, that's like a whole nother topic.
That's like a whole episode. You want your own episode?
I do not need my own episode.
I see what she's trying there.
No.
Are you trying to get me kicked off here too?
No,
Wouldn't be the
Robin,
first
you
time.
I guess early childhood, I've taught everything from pre-K to 8th grade, and now I am the librarian at North Elementary in Willard. So
she's fancy.
She's fancy.
They're both fancy. Actually, let me just mention right now, I'm a little nervous.
As you should
because
be.
I have a behavior interventionist in Robin, a counselor in Kelli, and I like to call you a tech-brarian in Laine. So I don't know if I'm nervous or if I feel like I'm well equipped to do anything in life with these people around me.
I think you should go with nervous.
You would like for me to be nervous.
I think your mom might scare you in a minute.
Take more than that, Mom. Bring it on. Okay, so highs and lows. We always start with our highs. Robin's been thinking hers over, so I'm going to let her start.
Oh, that's a new year.
I know.
A new beginning.
Yeah, new beginning. Every time you're going to start now.
Oh, no. Listen, we're not changing the rules. We can mix it up a little bit. But, well, I mostly just have a high. I couldn't think of a low, but then I did finally find a low. No, not that you have to have a low. But anyway, I've been off for a week and a half. I should have something that maybe. But the high is just being at home and being with family. And man, I am a great stay-at-home mom that gets paid. You know what I mean? I love
now
to
you're not getting, technically we aren't getting paid. Let's just put that
Well, I'm
out
getting
there.
the paycheck to pay my
There
bills.
you go.
You know what?
This is
My
not
bills
paid
are going
time
to
off.
get paid. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm not going to have to worry about that. So that has just been nice, just having some downtime, because I think we forget how
Mhm.
busy we are all the time until you have some quiet time. And it's like, man, though I'm not sleeping good because I don't think I'm tired because I'm used to running around all day at school that I have so much quiet time. It's like, man, I can't sleep at night. But my low is I want to be crafty.
Oh.
Okay. I wish I could sew. I wish I could paint. I want to be
You want to cook?
artistic. I want to cook. I want to be one of those people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I have a friend that I follow on Instagram that I had her son, and she quilts and does all these things. And she said, "Hey, is anybody into this new punch embroidery?" And I was like, "This looks amazing." So I told
You're
Dave,
like, I can do this.
I said, "All you do is punch, punch, punch. That's all you do." So I told Dave, "You listen, for Christmas, buy me a punch embroidery set," because he likes to watch a lot of fishing YouTube videos.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, I sat next to him. I can make pillows for people.
Oh, big
Beautiful
plans.
things. Like, I mean, it looks
Yeah.
awesome. So he got it for me.
That
It
was
great.
nice.
But yes. So Dave's watching the show. I sat down the first day. I punch. My thing just has big holes in there. No threads coming out. I can't do it. I can't do it. Dave said I can YouTube it and figure out. But you know what? I can't. And it makes me very sad because I want to be.
Yeah.
I want to be that person.
You
I
can.
want to make you guys pillows.
Yeah. I
want
expected
to.
one.
Yeah.
They have flowers. It says
actually-
home. It's a cactus. I mean, you ask it, I will make it. But I don't know how to. But you know what? I'm not going to give up. And I'm going to YouTube it. I'm going to think Dave didn't. I had to let Dave thread the thing because it seemed a little hard to me. So I'm really bad. But I'm going to go home again.
It's a thought that counts. You
No,
know, I'm
I'm-
going to envision that I have a pillow from you.
Oh, you're going to get a pillow.
Oh, gosh.
You're going to get a pillow. If it's the last thing I do this year, you're going to get a pillow. No, I'm going to need lots of practice. And it might just have 3 holes in it. You'll get a pillow.
Oh,
So
my
anyway,
God.
that's sad because you know what? I have such vision in my mind
Yeah.
of being like Betty Crocker, Martha
Mhm.
Stewart.
Yeah.
I'm not.
It's not. It's
No.
not. It's not for everybody.
No, but I want to be.
Yeah. Well, for my highs and lows, I think I'm just gonna go with high.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with high. I
Yeah.
don't know that I have like a low, but with it being the break, I think you're right. Like just a time to relax and be around your family, and we got to be around lots of different family
Mhm.
groups, and it's just nice to like laugh and have a good time with everybody. And we always get the boys like board games or card games,
Yeah.
some new ones, and we've been playing those, and it's just been fun. Now, I mean, we're very competitive, as we know, and so it gets a little heated. Actually, I did. Maybe my low is that one family member got my kid a Monopoly Cheaters edition.
Oh.
And so therefore Race wants to cheat all the time. Like it wasn't hard for him to do now, but now it's the goal to cheat. And so as annoyed as we were before when these things would happen, now it's just like amped. So I don't know how much he and his parents will be playing that, but we've played Exploding Kittens, which was fun.
That sounds fun.
Catan, which was a fun game. And we're just,
I love a good game.
Yeah, and I think for us, it's been that idea of like actually quality family time
Yeah.
that I've really
Yeah.
appreciated.
And sitting around and laughing and
Yeah,
I
having a
love
good
it.
time with it all. All right,
Okay.
Kelly, what do you got?
Hi, I will say Christmas break. I would agree with all of that. That was something that I thought of whenever you mentioned a high and a low. Just it is nice to be. And my husband's a coach, and so and my kids play sports, so it's a lot very
Yes,
busy,
yes.
very busy. And so being to not to have a schedule,
Uh-huh.
kind of not have a schedule has been nice for a few days. And so I've enjoyed that, and then getting to see my sisters and family,
Yeah.
that's been nice. And a low would be you talking about not being able to accomplish something you wanted to. I had a goal of wanting to get some things done around the house.
I know.
That's
As I was
hard.
sitting there not doing the dishes, I was thinking about all the things I had thought I would do over break. And not so much, didn't get those done. But again, those will be there later to
know.
do whenever I
feel like it.
feel like I
I
can.
know.
So I'm a little disappointed in myself for
I
that,
know.
but because
But
I had to ask what today was.
I know.
I was like, "What is today?" I asked my husband last night, "What is today? What is tomorrow?" And anyway, so
I had that same thing. Dave said something like, "When did you go pick that up?" And I said, "Monday. No, last week. No, Tuesday."
Yeah.
I was like, "I don't know." Whenever Maddie went to the Blue and Gold, what
Yeah.
day was that? He's like, "That was this week." I was like, "Okay, that's the day I went and picked it up."
That's how we mark our time.
Yeah.
I
on
need
break.
a activity we did.
Mhm, I get it.
Okay, so it's my turn.
Yeah.
We'll go with my low, Robin, and this just happened to happen last night.
Oh,
It's for you.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
So last night my daughter's birthday was yesterday, so we went to eat and stuff. And as soon as we were done eating and paid and stuff, my husband saw a mouse run. And
No.
Yes, a mouse run from the kitchen, like in the restaurant. And he's like, "Okay, it's time to go."
Oh my
no.
And so I would say,
Oh, I bet he was like gaggy, like
Now-
wanted to
Yes.
get rid of the food immediately.
Now I know you well enough to you weren't like, let me help you, because
I know.
you could get a mouse.
well, I thought about this. I thought about telling the story that I got up and smashed it.
Oh
But
no.
In
the
restaurant. But I thought that
I got this.
I got it. I could have.
Oh.
Did you tell someone?
No,
restaurant?
no.
You were like, just got out
Ken
of
was
there.
like, "Let's go." And
So the unnamed restaurant
Yes.
has a
Which
mouse in it.
We're gonna talk about it after this because I want to
She
know.
goes
I
out
will
to
not.
eat all the time.
Is it in Springfield?
yeah,
Please be a spot that Robin
Anyway.
goes to.
probably not. Anyway, that's different.
We eat a lot of places. We would
I
think.
do.
And
You
so,
never
anyway, that would be my low. It was that I didn't kill the mouse. You know, to help the restaurant out.
Helped out.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
that is the
Community
worst.
So I would say my high was I actually did get some stuff done in my house. I
Ah,
cleaned
Now she's
out.
bragging.
Yeah.
Sorry. I
Competition.
Yeah.
She was like, hey, got this.
I cleaned my house. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
No, I didn't. I
Sounds-
cleaned out a bunch of stuff. So I donated a
Mm.
whole bunch of clothes and just toys and all that. And it's kind of, the sad part is my kids are getting older, so all the toys had to
Yeah.
go. So it was like, you don't play with this and this. And
Yeah.
so anyway, but I got rid of a lot of stuff. And that was actually like, I've been waiting.
Cleansing.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was cleansing. And then,
Well-
of course, spending time with family is always just a
Yeah.
wonderful gift.
And I'm thinking the joke's on you here, because if you clean spots, guess who will, when I clean it, where my stuff's going.
I know. Yeah, it's true,
Because
'cause
my
clothes-
daughter's stuff will be going to your
your
daughter.
daughter.
So, haha, joke's on you.
But
But
listen,
you
her house
haven't
is
done
clean
it
now.
yet.
I haven't
Just bring her over.
That's right.
Have her go and pick it up.
We just cleaned up some of our toys, and we totally had Sean's brother Ryan come over with their son Sebastian and be like, "What do you want, Sebastian?"
We tried that and they were like, no, we don't. And I was like, there's a lot of good stuff.
I know. So, sisters and Robin, thinking about you guys coming on today, and having the immense knowledge between what all of you guys, like between just you three, we have like
Almost
60,
80.
80.
Oh,
Between me,
all of us.
oh, all
Yeah,
of us,
yeah,
almost 80 years of
Yeah.
educational
Yeah.
experience. No, that is not right.
20, 40, 60, and then 3, 5, 15, 20, 40, 60, 80.
Oh, look
That's
at
the-
you.
You know, I
Math?
feel-
Do you teach math?
Mental math.
I don't teach math.
It's mental math. See, mental.
Wow.
Natalie Moon, are you proud of me?
Yeah,
So
she
quick.
would be. She would be so proud of you. But we want to talk about, and we realize like education's in a rough spot right now. Like we're not oblivious to that. But I think that so often people are like focused on some of the more negative parts that we do forget, like the idea or like why we
Yeah.
get into education and I'm just trying to think about what did the exact words did I say for this episode? It was the benefits of
Mhm.
being in education, because there
Right.
really are. I mean, and we could sure go with the negative part, but I think that's just kind of where maybe the world wants us to head
Yeah.
in some ways right now. And so,
And there's a lot of great things about it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there really is. I think sometimes we just hear the negativity and that's who has the louder voice. But
Yeah.
there is a lot of great things.
well,
too.
and we're starting not new school year, but we're starting a new year, and there's always these, resolutions.
Resolutions.
I'm like having a Robin
I
moment
know.
with some of this. Thank you. Wow.
You know what? It's amazing what a week of off does for me.
I
It's
know.
like,
We make her
Wow.
nervous.
Yeah, maybe. I'm like, my sisters are listening. They're right here. But I think a thing that people could go and put out there would be like having that more positive
Yeah.
attitude about some things. And so we want to be real, but we also want to, I think that's one of the difference with our podcast maybe versus some other
Yeah.
educational podcasts. So one of the things I wanted to talk about was, we obviously know that in education, we can all go into different jobs. I mean, teachers are amazing.
they are
We could do anything.
multitaskers,
You name it, we
We do.
check the
Yep.
box.
hard
So,
workers.
yep. So, what were some jobs that you considered going into, and what kind of pulled you to go into education instead? be kind of a follow-up?
So when I was younger, was around someone that encouraged me to go into dental hygiene.
Mhm.
Okay, like teeth are great.
Yeah, teeth are great. They're nice.
They're
I like
nice.
them.
And it was something that you still got to visit with people a little bit and stuff. So as I got older and was looking into that, my college basketball coach said to me, seriously, you're going to try to talk to people and they're going to have their mouth open and they're not going to be able to talk back, and you're a talker. So like, how do you think this is going to work out? And I hadn't thought about that because he was kind of right. And so that made me kind of reconsider. That was one of the things that I don't know why no one else had said that to me, but that interaction, I guess, with people he was just pointing out that he thought that was something I was good at, and that maybe I should consider something else as an option. So, so dental hygiene was what I had said. I mean, when I graduated high school, that was what I was going to do. And I worked as, I even went and worked as a dental assistant when I was in high school. And I enjoyed that. I mean, worked for a great dentist, had a good time. He did call me Grace because I dropped the tray sometimes. Don't worry, I sanitized it afterwards. But yeah, he loved to call me Kelly Grace, and that is not my middle name because I dropped the trays once in a while. But it was a good experience, and I enjoyed that. I also learned the importance of just working with people, there, because there were several different dental assistants, and that was a good time to learn to work,
different personalities.
Yeah, right. As I'm sure you all have heard, we were raised on a farm. So, my boss before that had been Jerry Bybee. And had done a lot of raking hay and things like that. So, loved being outside and working for him, but also thought that maybe that was not what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. So,
now, ironically, you now live right.
Ironically, yes, I do live, and I still do take orders from Jerry Bybee as needed. I am not the top raker, but if he needs me to, but I can say, now wait a second, out of the three of us here, I have ran the most farm equipment.
Yeah.
I have ran the combine.
You know what? You are undisputedly the champ of machinery.
Okay. So
let it be known.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. I can run the farm equipment if needed. And I do live nearby but what I did was produce children for my father that can now work for him.
They
So
love the farm life. They love the farm life.
They do love the farm life. But and a lot of great values and stuff are taught in that. So the work ethic wasn't a problem, but just thinking I was going to have to talk to someone that had something in their mouth was pointed out to me. And so I also, there's, benefits of just, there, as we know, you get to be off with your kids and things like that. And even as a young person, I had considered that the dental hygiene thing, you can pick your days. If you work 2 days a week, you can work 2 days a week. You want to work 5, you can. And that was something even at a young age that I did consider. I knew that family would be important, and I would want to include that, in my decision making. So, so that was something that I
did. You have any jobs you considered before teaching?
The only other I always wanted to be in teaching. Dad was a teacher. My dad was a teacher, so he wanted me to be in nursing.
Yeah,
and so he's like, go into nursing, don't go into teaching. And so I looked into nursing, and I also really looked into being an occupational therapist. But I knew you had to go to school quite a ways to get like your OT. It wasn't just a 4-year degree. So I was like, and my heart was in teaching. I mean,
did you have a master's degree?
I do.
So you ended up going the extra 2 hours.
I did.
Anyway.
I was like, why do I have a degree? I was like, what do I? Yes, I did. But that's true. But when you're young, you don't think that way.
I know. Well, you got to have your teaching job and then work on your master's.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, Laine.
Oh, well, funny you say that people can't talk when they're at the dentist's office. My middle son, Braxton, I don't think he stops talking at the dentist's office. Like, I'm like, how do you ever get your teeth cleaned? Because the whole time he's talking, I'm like, how is she ever clean his teeth? Anyway, it just is funny because that's what I think about when you said that. My other job was going to be a veterinarian because I like animals.
Hence the crazy farm at her
Yes,
house.
like I have really 55 animals. I think we counted at the house. Yeah, anyway.
Do you live on a farm?
No, I mean I guess you can call my
lives
goat
on 10 acres.
Yeah, it's called goat farm, crazy farm.
Listen, if you have 10 acres, it's a farm.
Yeah, right.
Okay, this goes with the whole idea of where you grow up and what you consider a farm size. Because for us, 10-20 acres is not a farm.
Yeah.
But for
it's
Robin,
a full-fledged farm.
Yeah, Robin's
I live in the city.
She's city girl.
I'm a city girl. And my husband's from Houston, Texas. He's a city boy. He thinks
really
he's a farmer.
Well, my husband still is a city boy. he told me the other day that if anything happened to me, he's like, I will not keep any of these animals. And I said, I know that.
Yeah, he's a good man though. Like,
Yes, he's just laying it out on the table.
Yeah, our parents did tell us that, like, as growing up, we'd always want more and more pets and animals, and they were like, when you become an adult and you're
I heard that a
married,
lot.
you can have as many as you want. Laine took that and ran with it.
She did.
Yeah,
And
she
my
did.
husband's very nice about it, and he's
Yeah.
like, do you really need something else? Yeah, but I kind of feel like I do. And that's 55 animals. That's all.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's a vet, which I kind of am a vet right now, still being a vet. And it's fun, like Robin said, I didn't want to go through the school. So go through,
I know.
but then I got my master's.
I
So
know.
just-
Yeah.
Anyway, but in high school, I went and was like helping out a first grade teacher. And that just kind of had that spark in me that, kids, your day is never boring. And there's always something that comes up that you can help somebody with. And I don't know, I like that part of it.
Yeah.
It was, you're inspiring to little kids, and
Mm-hmm.
eventually they grow up, and you were a part of how many kids' lives that you can,
know.
that's the amazing part of teaching, I guess. That
Yeah, I totally agree on that. I think that's the part where, for me, I thought about pretty much everything. Because I had my two older sisters, so I was seeing the things they were doing. I'm like, maybe I want to be a dental hygienist. Maybe I want to be a vet. Actually, I remember for many years, because Laine wanted to be a vet, I did too. So we were both going to be in the vet world.
she has only chickens in her
Yeah.
house.
Hey, but you think I'm a farmer with
Listen,
that?
She's also the one that was like, hey, if something happens to that dog, when do we get a new one?
Yeah,
She
well,
was-
we had that dog forever. I feel like I had never had a puppy.
Poor lady.
I know, she lasted a long time. But I think for me, I was telling Sean actually last night, we were talking about some of this, and I said I remember getting to that. Like, I had A+ tutored with Kelli in her classroom. She actually was teaching in the elementary right next to our high school. It's a small town, so it's a small school. But I would go over there, and I really enjoyed that interaction with kids. But then I was like, I don't know, is that what path I really want to go into? I had my Aunt Kathy. I'd always graded her papers. I went to
Right.
school with her every day. I had seen her hatch chicks. I had seen all these different things. But then you kind of question, like, is this the path that I want to take? I told Sean, I said, I made a pros and cons list is what I ended up doing, because I was like, well, maybe I want to be like a nutritionist or a dietitian, or I had some of those different ideas. I know.
You?
Yeah, those are things I considered. Graphic design was another thing. I had actually, when I did a job shadowing, I went to the Buffalo Reflex and saw how they put together the newspaper and how they were putting together articles. And I was in yearbook, and I was on the newspaper at school, and I enjoyed that stuff. But again, whenever I'd go over into Kelly's classroom or just being around like the elementary kids, I was like they looked up to you, and you thought about how you really would have this great impact on people, whether they remembered all the lessons they had learned from you or not. It just felt like you were going to make an impact in the world. And I feel like that's probably one of the biggest differences with our job. Like, you get to see those things. How many people can say they impact that many kids in a year? So, okay. So what do you think would be like the obvious benefits, like the ones that people recognize?
Well, everybody's going to say those 3 months off in
Yeah.
the summer.
Yeah.
Come on.
Because that's always the best one.
Yeah.
I'd say also like retirement. People are like, we do have good retirement.
Yes.
We hope it's
hope
it's
it's-
going to be as good as everybody says, because we're
Yeah.
all banking on it.
Yeah.
Or
Well,
a little bit closer.
Yeah, that's right.
Hey,
Mostly
hey.
her. Mostly
Yeah,
her.
that's right.
well,
You can live with us if you need.
you can live with us. Well, Sean will also be retired at that point. So, well,
No,
and
can't take
that's,
you all.
I don't think everybody realizes that. Like, if you start teaching at 22 years old, then we get to retire about 51,
Yeah.
52.
Right.
Who else?
Oh,
What did you find?
I don't know. I don't know.
They want to
Serious.
figure the benefits.
Serious.
once.
Yeah, the serious
I
benefits.
thought you were asking a question.
But I think that people don't realize that. That's
Right.
14 years
Yeah.
before anybody else.
Right.
That's a huge benefit.
I think that's a huge benefit.
Yeah. And in Missouri, I
Yeah.
mean, that our retirement system is
Yeah.
really good, but we obviously need people getting into education to keep
Right.
that
Yeah.
going too. the summer's off. You guys have anything to say about summer's off?
Well, I'm an extended contract, so I work 2
Me
weeks
too.
before
Me
and 2 weeks after.
Not me.
So that really takes 4 weeks, or 2 weeks before and 2 weeks after
Yeah.
is 4 weeks. So really it's 2 months. And talking about the differences like small districts and big districts, but so I'm the only high school counselor. And so there's a lot of questions that that I'm the only one that knows the answer to.
Mm-hmm. She's very important.
She is very
I don't know about that, but just with summer
she's
school, with summer school and stuff, there's things that come up, and so I'm the only one that knows the answer to that. So there's a lot of times that on my days off, even then I feel like I need to go in once a week just for summer school, just to bless those little credit recovery kids' hearts. They are. We've had lots of talks about getting your credits during the school year makes my life easier and makes me a nicer person. But we've got some kids that are having to do some credit recovery, and so I feel like there's days in there that you go in because you know that you have to answer these questions or do things that need to be done. So
I do think there is it's not an urban legend. Again, I can't come up with words. So
I think urban legends
is
good.
it that is you think it's good?
Well, what do you
I like it.
Yeah,
let's wait till I'm gonna say.
Listen, I've been on I know she's saying like a rumor.
Yeah, kind of a thing. Well,
See,
that teachers.
I may not be
people
your
think
sister. I'm a soul sister.
soul sister. But that people think teachers like make and are getting. We do get a paycheck in the summer, but people think we get like paid time off.
Yes, that is not accurate.
No.
You basically, so yeah, it's like this is what you're going to get for the year.
Your salary.
They just divide it out over 12 months so that you won't have to take on a second job
Yes.
in the summer,
which some people do.
which
so.
some people do still. Yes.
Uh-huh.
I think sometimes, people
think
are like, but you're not working and you're getting a check. Well, yeah, but
they divided my check for the months that I worked throughout the 12 months.
Right.
I had our pastor actually we were talking because he was saying the other day how if there was any, he and his daughter were talking, neither one which are in education. I mean, he's in a different kind of education, but and they were saying how teachers should be one of the top paid professions. And I was saying, yeah, and I said, well, in the summer, and he goes, well, you get paid in the summer. I said, we don't have paid time off.
Yeah.
I said, so it's dispersed throughout the 12 months. And he goes, what? Like it was mind boggling to him. He didn't realize that. He thought we got paid time off and we don't.
And so another thing people don't realize is that with, talking about the great retirement we have, what you also people don't realize is that you don't have a choice. You do contribute, isn't it 14.5%?
And it's a lot of your paycheck.
Yeah.
14.5% of your salary goes into retirement. Now schools do match that, but I had a first year teacher basically call me like, can you tell me what all this means? Because do you know all the stuff they take out of your check? So, she thought she was getting this amount divided over 12 months, which in fact, by the time you take out retirement and different things like that, she was like in shock that it was not exactly how much money she thought she would be taking home.
Yeah, that's true.
It is. It's a lot.
Yep. What about maybe the benefits? Do you need to talk here?
No, listen, this is your family. This is you, Dave.
This is you, Dave.
This is your time to shine.
Oh my gosh, I don't need a time to shine with that. What about the benefits maybe that people don't realize?
Well, I'd say like going on being the younger side of things, like
Whoa.
No, I mean like teaching younger kids. Teaching
yeah.
younger kids. You have older kids, so there's benefits. So like the benefits of just being a teacher, like I get to start kids like reading. Like I mean that's a life skill that no one else gets to do.
Yeah.
But a teacher. I mean parents help out, but like you get to start them out like on some just basic life skills that start them for their whole life they're going to use. Like who else does that?
And we get to see, because I've only taught kindergarten first, or not kindergarten, I lied. First,
she's a liar. We've done this before.
I make up my own world. I make up my own story. But first and second grade, and now I do what I do. But I think especially in first grade, you get to see that click where they finally believe in themselves. Yeah. And I know as they get going, they do too, but there's something like that first experience of learning it for the first time, and where they didn't, when they come in your room and they don't think they can read, and then they start reading in that excitement because they still have that love for school and that joy. And I agree. I think there's nothing better.
I mean, that's just like an experience that no one else gets to experience.
No.
It's like they didn't know any letters, and then all of a sudden they're reading these big books, and you're like, I had a part of that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an awesome feeling, and later on in life, kids aren't going to come back and say, you taught me to read.
No.
But that's something internally. You
yes.
just know, hey, I have built all these, like, all the people that have been nurses, like all
Yes.
these other
Yeah.
professions I've helped out.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then Kelly gets to see the different side because they come back to see her.
That's the hard, isn't that the hard thing for our kids'
yes,
age?
like she gets to see there, be, you know, like you help me with all this, you know.
Yeah.
They remember better.
They
Yes.
remember.
My high school
It's
kids
okay,
do.
kids that didn't remember me.
I know.
Yeah.
I understand. I
That
feel
is
they don't
hard.
understand.
It is,
but
right.
I understand.
I'm an in-betweener,
Yeah.
really.
And I get that a little bit because I taught middle school. I taught 6th grade. That was right. And then I was the middle school counselor, and then I moved to the high school. So what I loved about middle school age kids is that I say
we all have our things.
I
I
know.
love the middle school.
Yeah.
age group,
Well,
yeah.
they always still want to be they still want to be mommied a little bit. And I say that because they want to be a big kid, but they want to be mommied. So and I'll tell a little story. I always think this is the best way to explain it is I had a girl come in one time and she said, my mom wants me to read this book and I don't want to read it. And so she was coming to me saying, what do I do? Like, I'm old enough, I can pick my own books. She was 12, you know.
Of course.
But I think this is where you see that they want to be big kids, but they're still not. And I said, well, here's how I think of it is it worth a fight with your mom? She was like, I don't know. And I said, well, here's the deal. Here's what I would do. Read the book. And tell your mom, okay, I'll read the book because you want me to. I said, if you read the book and it's a good book, then you say, hey, cool. Thanks, mom.
Yeah.
And if you don't like it, then you can say, hey, mom, next time, like, I think I'll pick what I'm going to read. So, you know, you're kind of and she came back in, about a week later and I said, so how was the book? And she said, it was good. So she would have got advice as far as how to handle that situation with her mom.
I think that's true.
And so I liked that interaction with my middle school kids is that you are still, they're not grown up, but their desire is to be grown up.
Yeah.
And so to hear them out in those things, my high school kids, what I love right now about being in the high school is that those kids do remember. They come back. And I tell them I'm busy all the time. That's why I have a job, but I'm never too busy, but you might have to wait because I want them to know, like, I'm never too busy to help you. Don't ever feel that way because they come in my office and they're like, help me. Oh, you're busy. Just give me a minute, but what I love is that whenever I do get those phone calls or those emails from them that says, I need you to help me with this, even after they've graduated. And I do love that. Yeah. I love that feeling of that they still might need me a little bit and stuff. So
I mean, hitting on both things that you said, Laine, with the being able to read. I tell my 5th graders, I'm like, I didn't teach you to read. And so I do try to point out to them, like, remember to be thankful for the people that did. And even as a parent and a teacher, like, I've not taught my own children to read, so I've always been so thankful of the younger.
Absolutely.
So I'm like, there are huge life skills that they're learning, and they may not remember all those pieces, but in the same sense, like, you get to see that, and really what a blessing you get to be to those kids. And then Kelly, to hit on the middle school, I think part of the thing I've realized maybe just this year, I've always done it, but this year it just hit a little more at home for me, is that I think we are teaching them how to handle social situations, academic situations. And I think that might be the difference in the middle school world, where they kind of have those things underground with being able to read and being able to do basic arithmetic, all those things. But the social part is something new for them. So I feel like maybe it's this year even more because of I think kids are lacking social skills because of COVID and not being around.
Technology doesn't help with that.
No.
It's like,
and technology.
Because I have to tell my son, did you talk to the person?
Yeah.
Why would I do that? Okay, this is what you say. Like, you have to teach. I mean,
it is.
Yeah, it's a hard.
It is. And I think that's why the kids are kind of struggling right now. And my kids actually now are way better than they were at the beginning of the year, but they did not know how to handle social situations. And so that's almost one of those maybe things people don't realize teachers have to do. And I don't know that I would go with a benefit, but in the same, I'm like, I am helping them figure out how to handle the world around them and people. So.
Well, I said middle schoolers are preschoolers because they're now going back to that social with hormones.
Yeah.
So that's why they're so hard sometimes, because they don't understand some social things. You have to teach them that.
Yep.
And then they have all these hormones going everywhere.
Yes.
So it's like, okay, this is how you're going to handle this.
Oh, the moody preteen.
And I'm in the middle of it all, 16, 14, 11.
Yeah.
My daughter turned 11. She's a tween.
Oh, of course she is.
She is a tween. She
A
said.
tween?
Yeah, because you're 11 and 12
Yeah.
are tweens. too.
Oh, I thought it was just a preteen.
No,
tweens,
it's
especially
tweens.
for
Tween
girls.
sounds
yes,
better.
tween sounds so much better.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's very cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is the difference in having sons versus
Oh
daughters.
yes, it's
Moving on, Robin's got our challenge up and ready.
I did. I almost
You
forgot.
did.
I've been off, so
Uh-huh.
So anyway, here we go. The verse I just thought starting a new year, and really honestly, it's kind of was back to kind of what we were talking about. But my verse is Psalms 141:3. Set a guard over my mouth, O Lord. Keep watch over the door of my lips. And I just thought that, on my I always like to find sayings and put them on my phone so then it reminds me. And I have had this on for about 2 months. It says, speak in such a way that others love to listen to you. Listen. Sorry, my phone went off. Listen in such a way that others love to speak to you. And I think that is just so starting off this new year and talking about our teaching and our job and stuff. But I think we need to be really careful what comes out of our mouth.
Mhm.
And I think we don't realize what a difference it makes to everybody around us. And there's people listening, like you
Mhm.
said earlier, that we don't realize that people are listening or what we're saying and it's getting repeated. But the verse again, set a guard over my mouth, O Lord, keep watch over the door of my lips. And I just think that's a great reminder starting this new year, going back to school as a teacher, as a mom, as a friend,
Mhm.
that we're just really careful. We want to be those people that people want to listen, to talk to us and want to listen to us because we are careful about what we say. So that's just my challenge this week, is just being careful about what we say.
Yeah, I love it. Well, and starting a new year, I mean, start things new.
I
fresh.
know. I love it.
Okay.
My husband thinks it's ridiculous, New Year's resolutions. He's like, you can start fresh every day. And I'm like, I love it. Like, I love starting fresh. I love
Sean's
being-
that same way. Actually, I
Oh.
asked him last night. I was like, "So, what's your New Year's resolution?" He looked at me like,
That's the thing.
Not-
He's like,
not
you can start
happening.
something every Monday if you want. I'm like, listen,
"Yeah."
joy sucker. This is Listen.
Teacher chatter.
This is Robin.
And Jill.
And have a great week.